everyone, welcome to the channel Metallurgical Group and Study Meter. Today in this interview we have invited Dr. Vikram as our guest. Dr. Vikram is a battery researcher and today we will ask him few basic questions about batteries and we'll try to keep it basic so it will reach the audience who are not an expert on this area. So let's introduce Dr. Vikram. Dr. Vikram, can you please give a brief introduction of yourself to
Yeah,
the
sure.
channel?
sure. I'm Dr. Vikram Bharti. I was a postdoctoral fellow at Pittsburgh State University. Currently, I got an offer from University of Southampton for a postdoctoral fellow. I will be joining soon. I'm a PhD graduate from IIT Hyderabad, a master's from IIT Hyderabad, and bachelor from BITC India. So I'm looking for more opportunity in the coming years for the battery research. Yeah, that's what I said. Thanks.
Very nice introduction, Dr. Vikram.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you. So, where have you done your schooling from?
So I've done my schooling from Johar Navodaya Vidyalaya,
Mm.
which is one of the prestigious school in the central government scheme in the India. It was a nice place to inculcate, the enthusiasm in the student to go even beyond their limits. It was a very nice place. I think you should visit once.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I will do that. And please comment who are from Jawaharlal Nehru
Johar
Vidyalaya.
Navodaya Vidyalaya.
Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya.
Yes.
So, all these degrees, as you have mentioned, BTech, MTech, PhD. So, which branch have you studied?
So, in my bachelor, master's, and doctoral, throughout my professional career, I will stick to a chemical engineer by
Oh.
profession.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chemical engineering. Nice.
Yes.
So how have you started working on batteries? What motivated you to work on this field, although you are from chemical engineering? Because most of my friends who are from chemical engineering, they are working on chemical reactors and mostly chemical stuffs. But I don't think batteries is a pure chemistry field, chemical engineering field. So how have
So
you come to this field?
to answer this, the basic difference between chemistry and chemical engineering is the chemical engineering is applied chemistry.
Right.
So even the electrochemistry, the advanced level where you talk about batteries and other devices, the basic knowledge is the same what you studied in your intermediates.
Right.
There is no much required knowledge, and obviously for research there is different kind of study that you have to do after your basic studies.
Mm.
So when I was exposed to this battery field, I realized there is something which makes you to carry your devices with you without having any charge.
Right.
Okay. Let's say you're talking about the initial computer. You remember
Yeah.
they were running on the
Yes.
electricity.
Yeah.
You need continuous power supply.
Right.
However, nowadays people are very much fancy about I should carry this laptop, mobile without carrying a charger.
Tablets.
Yeah, so that you can store charges and you can use whenever you require it.
Right.
So therefore, this is a very you can say good. It was a good invention by the humanity, where you can take the all the devices, you can make it portable,
Mm.
so that you can use wherever required.
Right.
Yeah.
So when did you thought of doing this battery research? Like after 12th or after BTech, after MTech?
For me, basically, like when I was exposed to my master's degree, and initially when I was supposed to go to lab and see the lab culture, there were multiple sector or multiple domain people who were working, like sensor,
Right.
batteries, supercapacitor, and some healthcare applications.
Mm.
However, this was more interesting because whatever you have studied so far in your intermediate level of education, you can really see them happening in front of you, and it's not so complicated.
That is true.
Yeah, because even you are managing with your 12th class electrochemistry knowledge, that is good enough.
Right.
Yeah, but with time you have to upgrade your knowledge. Obviously, in any field you have to do that. But this is the basic research anyone can do, and you can really understand the results with if you are interested with very low efforts.
That is right.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
Thank you. So, if I ask you to explain what a battery is to someone who is not in this field, or let's say a school going kid, how will you explain what is a battery?
So for me, the battery is a device which stores charges which you can use whenever you require.
Mm.
So more technically, you can tell like battery is a device which generate electricity based on electrochemical reactions. So what is the electrochemical reaction is happening within the battery that is being generated to electricity, and that's how you are using your laptop and mobile. So basically, you can tell it's a charge storage devices which you can use even, let's say, there is no other power sources like the batteries you are using in a mobile phone, laptops. They don't need power sources when you until they are discharged.
Right.
So the basic definition for any learner, you can tell it's a charge storage devices for multiple purposes.
So, is battery the only charge storage device, or we have another charge storage device other than battery also?
We have like a super capacitor, but there are some few pros and cons when you talk about battery and super capacitor. Like in batteries, you can store charges for longer period. However, in super capacitor, the discharge action occurs very fast. So if you talk about in nowadays perception, like nowadays everyone is knowing about electric vehicle. So let's say you want to go for longer distance. So in that case, you will prefer batteries. However, let's say you need more power to climb any height. In that case, you need more power than the energy, and there supercapacitor can play a bigger role. So with the combination of these two, you can really achieve a better electrochemical energy storage devices for today's demand, which is electric vehicles.
So thank you for telling the difference between battery and supercapacitor. I think it will be really helpful. So coming back to batteries, what do you think are the basic applications in real life?
So basic applications like almost everything you see around which is lightning or a device is working on a battery. Like you're using your tripod that is having your battery. I'm using this watch, batteries. This even wall clock is a battery.
Electric vehicles.
Yeah, electric vehicles nowadays, there are different grades of battery, different kinds of batteries. And nowadays people are talking about drones. Maybe you have heard about that. People are transporting food and medicines to the for delivery purpose. They are using drones.
Right.
That is also being operated by batteries.
So it has wide applications.
Yes, and even I remember in 2008, the first flight was also tested where battery was used for running the flight. So it's a wide range of applications.
That's interesting. So what are the batteries that we are using in the market? Like, is it the same battery that is being used in phones, tablets, and electric vehicles, or like inverters? Are these all the same batteries or different batteries?
So battery performance is being determined by the battery chemistry. Okay, how the battery works or what is the components are being used. So like nowadays, if you talk about your mobile phones or laptop, basically in the mobile phone, the higher fraction you pay for your battery, because lithium-ion battery is one of the costly battery nowadays. Okay? But you cannot afford the same price for your inverter.
Right.
So these two chemistry are different. For inverter, you need less power because almost all the time you have electricity. You need when electricity is not there. So in that case, we use lead acid battery. So their electrochemical reactions are different. Purpose is same to store charges.
Right.
However, the working mechanism is different. The amount of charge stored is different. And similarly, if you talk about the electric vehicles, mobile phones, laptops, the arrangement of the batteries are different to meet the requirement.
Right.
Like if you talk about your mobile phone, we are using pouch cell. Okay. So basically the battery is a kind of pouch. If you see disassemble, you remember Nokia mobiles when you
Yes.
used to detach the back cover and
I
see
think
the
the
battery.
viewers can relate to this also.
Yes, yes. So you can see sometime it used to bulge.
Right.
We used to
Yeah.
play with that. So that is a kind of cylindrical that is a kind of your pouch cell arrangement.
Mm.
But if you see laptop battery, when we were able to detach, nowadays it's not detachable.
Right.
So it was a kind of cylinder. So there is cylindrical cell arrangement. And in the electric vehicle, a multiple battery is being fixed in such a way so that your cumulative voltage is around 15 volt. So they are arranged in such a way. The arrangement is different in all these cases. However, the chemistry is same.
Okay. Thank you. So, in a battery, what are the major components, and how do you like to comment on the cost of the battery that we are using currently?
Yeah, so the very basic components of electrochemical device, not basically a battery, is your working electrode, counter electrode, separator, and electrolyte. So most of the cost is being beared by the electrolyte and the electrodes, which are working electrode or counter electrode. So depending on the chemistry, like you are using lithium batteries, or someone is using like I was telling about lead acid batteries. So lithium obviously is more costly than your lead. Obviously the cost will be vary, and that's why I told you like the cost of lithium and battery is even high. That's why you cannot use them for storing charge for your inverter. So the battery chemistry as well as the components, like which electrolyte you are using. Electrolyte also have very different classes, like if you are using organic solvents or ionic liquid kind of electrolyte, or your water as a solvent. So these all determines the cost of your battery.
So, what I can understand from this is if you reduce the cost of a battery, then obviously the price of phones or laptops or electric vehicles will go down, because it directly affects the overall cost.
But the other requirement which is people are looking for nowadays, if you are driving a car, you don't want to stop every 10 kilometers. Right. If I'm starting a car here, after every 10 kilometer I have to charge my electric car. It's not acceptable for me. Then I will go for petrol. Why to go for electric vehicles? So there are few terms like energy density. So to have energy density, so energy density basically, if you define the amount of charges which can be stored in the electrochemical device. Okay. So for lithium ion battery, why they are being used so far in electric vehicles, mobile phones, or your car, laptops, they have a good energy density. A good energy density which is upper limit till 300 watt hour per kg. So you can imagine really like currently Tesla is claiming that they can go beyond 400 kilometer between consecutive charges. If you use some battery, let's say I was talking about lead acid battery. If you are using that battery chemistry to run an electric vehicle, in that case you cannot really go beyond 100 kilometers. Even you increase the weight. So the advantage here to use lithium ion battery in electric vehicles is like with the smaller weight compared to lead acid or other existing battery chemistry, at lower weight you can achieve higher energy density, which means you can run a longer distance between consecutive charges.
You can go extra miles.
Yes, and and therefore you are people are willing to pay. Okay, I will pay a bit higher cost, but I can move a longer distance between consecutive charges. Okay.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So as you explained, the lithium ion batteries that we are using. So, like very briefly, what will you say the advantage and disadvantage of the lithium ion battery? Advantage, I think you have already mentioned that it has a higher energy density.
Yes, yes.
What about the disadvantages?
Even this energy density is not good enough. Even other chemistry are in market. They were introduced even before lithium ion battery was commercialized, which is one of the battery chemistry that I remember is lithium sulfur. It was started in nearly 1970s, and even the product is not in the market. Some industries are working to bring a product for this chemistry. So, as per the theoretical calculation, the energy density of lithium-ion battery is very inferior what a lithium sulfur battery can achieve. Okay, so this is one of the demerit, because this number, as you push, your requirement of charging station will go down, your energy consumption will go down. At the same weight of the battery, you can travel for longer distances. So that make a really good sense to me. However, there are even more challenges with the other chemistry that we can talk later.
So as you explained that lithium sulfur battery will perform much better than lithium ion battery. What about the cost of lithium sulfur battery? Will it be more expensive because it is giving more higher performance than a lithium ion battery?
No, so the other component that we look for battery is, first is performance, second is the cost effectiveness. So if you talk about lithium sulfur battery, in that case, obviously the price whatever we are bearing for lithium ion will be cheaper for lithium sulfur. Because sulfur is one of the byproduct from petrol refinery. So petrol refinery are suffering from this problem to sulfur discard, and how they use this product byproduct.
Right.
So that is one of the arena started lithium sulfur battery. Like coal tar is a byproduct for your coal industry.
Right.
So nowadays Tata Steel and some Indian based company, they are trying to use this coal tar, the byproduct, as some good product for the battery or some XYZ application like catalysis and all. So yeah, because sulfur is abundant, and with the same chemistry, whatever you are using in the electrode for lithium ion battery, like lithium NMC, lithium cobalt oxide, lithium iron phosphate. So this kind of your lithium compounds you can really use in the lithium sulfur. With the same amount, with the similar amount of the material which you are using for both the battery, you can really push the energy matrices.
Right.
So cost, what I feel, should be lower for lithium sulfur compared to lithium ion batteries because of sulfur involvement.
Right. Yeah. Nice. Thank you. So a lot of people, I think battery research is a very crowded place nowadays. A lot of people are working on these battery things. So what is your suggestion to people who have just started their research on battery, or who want to come into this field?
So as a researcher, for industry, if you talk, that is you keep aside. For if you talk about researcher or scientist, we focus on one of the crucial parameters that is being not accounted in lithium ion or lithium sulfur is safety. So we should move to some practical devices which can even come up after let's say 10-20 years, but they are more safer. Like if you talk about the lithium ion uses, it's a very good battery. You are happy with your mobile phone nowadays. The capacity rating is been increased. You don't need to charge your phone for 2 days, 3 days. Laptop is also similar, but they are not typically so safe because of lithium involvement. They are hazardous. Even the electrolyte is inflammable.
Right.
So a small battery default can catch fire, and thereby you are listening nowadays a lot of these kind of incidents are occurring. I remember in India, I think last year early days, some electric scooter blasted and some people died. So these are the safety concerns which still we have to look for as a researcher. And in my suggestion, what I feel we can really go for a safer battery chemistry like zinc batteries, aluminum batteries. They are pretty much safer than the alkali metal or alkali metal batteries are lithium, potassium, and sodium. So what I feel, even the aluminum ion or aluminum sulfur, similarly with the zinc ion, zinc sulfur, or other chemistry, will be good enough if you pay much attention. Even let's say you are able to replace the battery which we are using in the mobile phone, so we will do a very good job there, okay, because at least that is safer. And if it comes to the electric vehicle application, so there is separate case of studies. Few people are working on batteries, few people are working on battery assembly, and the other group they are working on the battery management system, BMS. So the role of BMS is to control the temperature or circulate the water to lower down the temperature of the battery to prevent this kind of blasting, explosion. So yeah, so for the people who are coming new to this area, my suggestion will be look for some safer battery. Maybe it will take a long period. Like I told, lithium sulfur started very long, 1970s, and still after 50 years of research, there is no product. Few companies like Sion Power and Oxys Energy, they are working, and they have claimed that they have a prototype of lithium sulfur battery, but still it will take at least 5 years to come to the marketplace because of its safety concerns and all. So bearing about all these like energy matrices and the safety concern, I will say go for the chemistry, battery chemistry, which is safer, where explosion is not a really challenge. Yeah.
So, like you have a chemical engineering background, that's why you are working on batteries. Is it mandatory to have a chemical engineering degree to work on batteries, or people can come from other branches also? I think some of the people from they have done BSc and MSc in physics, they are also working on batteries and they are really doing good. So, what do you think on this?
So what I feel, first thing, research is interdisciplinary. It does not matter what background you have. During my doctoral, I have even done bacterial cellulosynthesis. I have nothing to do with biology or even the cell culture, but I have done it.
Right.
So, in my views, what I feel, research is interdisciplinary, and this research, battery research, is basically your electrochemistry. And electrochemistry basic you studied in your class 12th chemistry course, and that I think the basic science people or the engineering people forget about the branch. Everyone has studied the subject, and thereby you can see nowadays people from different departments, even electrical, mechanical, civil I have not seen so far, but chemical, material science, physics, chemistry, they can all work on the battery system. So it's nothing to relate with your background, from which background you came from, but it matters, like how much your basics were strong. And these basics were not really tough. You can really revise them. If you want to go for the battery research, you just revise your 12th class electrochemistry, and really it will be very, very helpful. And then you can go to the advanced electrochemistry at later stages. But if your 12th class electrochemistry is clear, I think you are good enough to start on a battery as an initial researcher. And with time you have to go through the more in-depth, but that is the basics that I feel. So there is no need that you should be affiliated with the chemical engineering or chemistry, which is basically the origin of your electrochemistry, so which is not required in my views.
So, I would like to ask one last question with you. So, this battery technology, like as you said, people should work on safer batteries like zinc or aluminum, or you are saying that lithium sulfur will also come in the market in next 5 years. So, like in the next 20-25 years, what do you see? Like, will we be still using the lithium-ion batteries in mobile phones, or we will go to some other battery chemistry?
No, see, in lithium ion also, if I remember, the first battery was based on, I think so, lithium iron phosphate. I'm not pretty sure, but this was some kind of lithium compounds were used for the battery. With time, in lithium ion also we have changed many components like lithium iron phosphate, then lithium cobalt oxide, lithium manganese oxide, and now we are using lithium manganese nickel cobalt combination. So in lithium ion also we are promoting day by day in terms of material to achieve better energy density or to achieve better cycle life, so that you can use your battery for longer time. So now what people are playing, so initially all the optimization was done to increase the energy density, but it has reached a ceiling. So now people are focusing more on commercializing the other battery system which was started very early, lithium sulfur. So even people have claimed the oxys energy, which I was talking just a few minutes back. So they are claiming they can go really till 600 watt hour per kg, even very higher than the lithium ion battery, which is really running in the market. So in the coming 20-25 year, what I feel, the sulfur battery will dominate the lithium ion battery. Hopefully we will cross all the barriers which sulfur battery occurs, like the most of the problem is its failure. The cycle life is very less compared to lithium ion, and that's why people are not commercializing it. So maybe we will be able to get rid of this problem very soon, maybe coming 5 to 10 years. So in 30 years, I feel like yes, your battery cost will decrease because the battery chemistry will change. At the same time, the charging station you need at very nowadays it's required as very lower distance, very closer distance. That will also change. Apart from that, the scientific community is working to introduce some safer battery, which can really replace the lithium ion for a smaller application, like your laptop and mobile phones. They can be easily replaced with other battery chemistry with similar energy matrices. They don't need high energy density as electric cars. So therefore, the other battery system like maybe sodium, calcium, aluminum, these may replace this battery, so that lithium is particularly can be used for the electric vehicles, because the energy density of lithium battery is very very high compared to other battery systems. So in my thought, I think that will be a good to conclude, like you use safer battery at some lower cost with the similar energy matrices which you are using in mobile phone and laptops. However, you keep the lithium batteries or lithium sulfur, which will be game changer. Maybe coming 15 to 20 years, you will hear lithium sulfur battery is doing great job compared to lithium ion batteries. So yeah, lithium ion batteries, the cost is very high, and therefore it need to be replaced. And that's how scientific people and even the industries are working. And very soon you will have the news that okay, this Siam Power and Oxys Energy nowadays, some more companies in Indian based also, they are trying to start the sulfur battery research. Okay, so that will be a game changer.
So I think we asked few basic questions, and I think viewers can relate because we have not gone into the depth of the chemistry.
Yeah.
So I think we are addressing people who are not from this background. So I would like to thank you again for joining here. And also, as you mentioned that you're going for next postdoctoral fellow at University of Southampton. So I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you.